Joining me right now, Peter Murphy, the president of Home Encounter, keeping us up to date on what's going on in the mortgage industry and the housing industry, and we know it's still a mess. Okay, today we're going to be talking about short sales. Let's start out exactly what is a short sale and how was it, in quotes, supposed to work?
Well, a short sale is when a seller is trying to get their lender to allow them to sell their house for less money than what they actually owe on their mortgage. So that's how it's supposed to work. A seller goes to a lender and says, I know I owe $200,000, but will you let me sell it for $100,000? And the lender says, sure, if you pay me back that $100,000 deficiency over the next few years, you can do that. They shake hands, the seller gets out of his house, a happy buyer gets into a home cheaply.
And not only that, then the bank gets rid of it and gets it off their books, and the market is open.
That's
okay,
right.
Now in April, the government got involved in this process because they said what we need to do is speed up these short sales. Well, what's happened?
Well, short sales were taking about 7 months back in April on average to do back here in Tampa Bay, and so they rolled out the Home Affordable Foreclosure Act, and that was to speed up the process and give incentives to the banks and incentives to the sellers to get the short sale done quickly. Well, since then, it now takes a month and a half longer to do a short sale. 8.5 months on average to get a short sale done in Tampa Bay.
Now, is that because people are just not going to be out there buying right now because nobody knows what's going on with the economy?
No, people are actually very interested in buying short sales. We have half of all pending contracts are on short sale properties. People really want to buy them. They're taking a long time because they're so bureaucratic. You have lenders who have systems that are not set up to support the short sale process, and they're working through tens of thousands of these deals in every city.
Now, is that because, as we saw with all of these bankruptcies that these banks were signing off of and these foreclosures and the defaults, is that because the numbers are just so huge that nobody can really keep track of all of this stuff?
Well, it is huge. It's giant. And it's also because it's not the bank's business to go about forgiving debt. They're there to make money on debt, to collect interest payments, not to go about and modify mortgages. They've literally had to set up a new shop to re-underwrite tens of thousands of loans and to decide if going the short sale route is better interest than going through foreclosure.
But in reality, the rules that they were playing by were not really accurate in that they were qualifying people for homes that they simply couldn't afford.
Correct. They're now seeing how crazy they were to issue financing to the kind of people that they approved.
Right.
They're seeing people who had no income, who stated their income massively incorrectly. They were looking at appraisals that overvalued the homes by 100%, 200% in some cases. They're seeing the mistakes they made.
So who is manipulating short sales, or do I say that anybody is manipulating it? I mean,
well, maybe everyone's manipulating it.
Okay,
we know that sellers are manipulating short sales because if they can get a short sale done, they can get out from underneath that mortgage that keeps them underwater. We know that buyers are manipulating short sales because if they can get a great deal in a property through a short sale, they're laughing all the way to the bank. We know that lenders are manipulating short sales because they don't want to forgive people their mortgages. But there's some particularly insidious manipulation going on, and it's when a seller tries to get their home short sold, they sell it to someone who they know. The person they know then goes around once that short sale is complete and sells it back to the former owner. That's going on some in the Tampa Bay area, and lenders are trying to crack down on
okay, tell me that, because I know that you're a stats guy and you watch all this kind of stuff.
Yes.
What has to happen to short sales where we'll be able to look at short sales and say this is an indicator that we've turned the corner and we're coming back?
Well, they've got to be more. They've got to be successful. First of all, you know, short sales still only represent 20% of the actual sold transactions in the marketplace, even though they're 50% of the pending transactions.
Okay, now how can there be a 30% lag in those figures?
Because everyone wants to buy one, but the banks won't let them. The banks won't get a system in place that allows someone to be able to close on them. And here's the problem: if people cannot get a short sale done, they will go into foreclosure. So when that gap, a short sale is just a pre-foreclosure.
Yeah.
So that gap is indicative of a future pipeline of foreclosures in the Tampa Bay area. We have got to see a situation where the number of short sales closed equal the number of pending transactions effectively.
But wouldn't it be in the bank's best interest, and I'm sorry we don't have a banking representative here to talk about this, just to get these things off their books and then to move on?
Well, you would think. Now, certainly it would be, because they're going to lose a lot of money if they go through the
short but if you
sale
leave
process.
A house empty for 3 or 4 years, or somebody lives in it for 3 or 4 years, don't they lose money there?
They lose more money potentially. The problem is banks are not set up to do that, and banks also have an idea on their heads that if they let people get away with this, what kind of integrity will people? What will their notes and mortgages have in the future?
Because what about all of us that paid our bills and do all those kind of things?
You make it too easy. We all walk away from our mortgages too. Why would we possibly stay involved in the deal when we don't have to?
Let's say you could pass your magic wand.
Yes.
If you're running for office and you're not.
Yes.
How would you correct this situation where we can get some energy back into the real estate market?
Well, there needs to be a meaningful modification program on the table, because lenders are saying, let's go about and get your home short saled. But the fact is, some of those sellers don't want a short sale. They want to stay in their home.
Yeah,
They want to be able to afford their mortgage. That's the problem. So you get a meaningful modification where you either reduce the interest rates to lower payments or you reduce the outstanding balance owed, and then people don't need to short sale anymore. The banks are going to lose money regardless. They've already made the loans. It's not like they've got to make newer loans now. So it's a matter of just letting market realities change the way the notes and mortgages are written.
And yet I have talked to a number of websites who have talked to a lot of the big five lenders. Chase is one of those big five lenders, who say, if people will just come to us, we'll make the modifications and we won't foreclose on them. So are we getting mixed messages? On the one hand, they say come and talk to us, but on the other hand, when you come and talk, nothing gets done?
Absolutely, they're getting mixed messages. I mean, because here's the thing, you go to them and if you're an investor, they won't talk to you. You have to be an owner-occupant.
Right.
And you've got to be an owner-occupant who's still living in that home. And you have to be an owner-occupant who can still produce financials. So if you've just lost your job, not much of an option there available for you. So there's plenty of disclaimers around the idea that they'll let you short sale.
Okay, some advice then. If you're looking for a home, can you get a short sale home in a reasonable time frame?
Yes, if you target a home that's bank approved. If a price has been bank approved and the bank's already gone through that paperwork and approved that price, but if it's not bank approved, you're looking at anywhere from 8 to 9 months to close.
Okay, so ask for a bank approved loan.
Yes.
And if you're in one of those houses and you are considering a short sale, is that like bankruptcy, maybe the last resort of a thing you should do?
Yeah, it's definitely not a good option. A short sale is going to have serious impacts on your credit, and it may not even be successful if someone doesn't want to buy your home.
Yeah.
You really want to talk with your lender. You've got to get through to them. The best thing to do if you want to stay in your home is to get your mortgage modified.
Right.
That's the best option.
Yeah, and the lenders say that they will give you the same kind of deals that they would get any of these credit card companies or any of these credit counseling companies as far as, you know, what you're going to buy. So, folks, talk to your banker. That's the message for today on Short Sales.
That's right.
Peter, good talking to you.
Thank you.